Oh. Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Tonight I've got a very special guest joining me. It's Daniel Wharakura from Warriors Anonymous podcast. Hopefully I've said that correctly. All good on your end?
Yeah, hi bro. Thank you for having me. Yeah, all good. The season starts very soon. Wow, Vegas, can't wait, man.
Yeah, so Daniel's been kind enough to come on, give his time up to as to chat all things Warriors this coming season, and this is the first of the preview. We also got a special guest tomorrow night as well, at 9:30 New Zealand time. We've got the lads from Waz Up podcast, Waz Up TV, Ash and Livon. They'll be joining me tomorrow, and Brad Ingo from Ingers League Rap. We're gonna do a Warriors season preview as well. So that's also
Nice.
coming up on the channel. So plenty of Warriors content for you guys to fill in ahead of this week's game in Vegas. And boy, looking forward to the Vegas trip. And yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I can see the boys are already in Vegas as well. So I see they've gone recently to a hockey match over there in
Cool.
Vegas. So it's good to see. But bring it on. I can't wait for round one. But we're going to talk about the season ahead. We're going to do a season preview, chat about the all sorts of stuff around fixtures, predictions, all sorts of that stuff for you guys. So hello to everyone in the chat. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, give the stream a like. Actually hit that thumbs up button. More importantly, it helps push the content out to more people, more viewers. Click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. And go and follow Warriors Anonymous podcast. Go and check out them on their podcasting platforms and YouTube as well. And we got Tarns in the chat. Hello to Tarns. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Tarns. Yeah, good to see you there in the chat. So let's get underway. The season preview for this year. So first things first, we'll go through to the off season and how the off season has tracked. So we had the two preseason trials. We played the Storm and we also played the Sharks. In the first game we played the Sharks, and then we played obviously the Storm last week. And what were your takes out of those two trials? Because obviously, we had our first trial, which was close to our full strength lineup for round one, and then the second trial was a bit of a mix between the younger players and some of the first graders as well. So, just what were your takes on those two trials? What did you make out of them, and the performances? Obviously, the results don't mean anything. It's only trials at the end of the day. But what did you make
Mm-hmm.
out of the players and the performances in those two trials?
Yeah. Look, they were decent headouts. I think. Obviously, we had decided to play. Most of the first choice guys across the both trial matches as well. So, I guess the Sharks still didn't have many of the stars there, many of the key guys, and obviously clearly the Storm didn't either as well. So, but that aside, I think, first of all, you hope there's no major injuries, and unfortunately, we got a major injury with Dallin. He's going to be out for a significant amount of time. So, you can't. They're unavoidable. It's just it's just the early season stuff as well. So it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, I guess for me, I thought there was some bright lights there. Really liked how Luke Metcalf has been handed what looks like he's been handed, and obviously has been confirmed by Webby. He's been handed the reins to lead the team as the 7 to start the season as well. So, what really impressed me is he took the ball by the horns. Looked sharp. We were just saying before, I don't think we've kicked that many 40-20s in a season yet. He seems to be finding some good kicking yardage as well, and we know he's got a good run game. So stoked with that. Good to see young guys get out there too. You just touched on it before when we caught up. The unearthing Samuel Healy to the club as well, and he looked sharp. I think he was one of the most impressive players we had across the trials as well. I think a lot of the fan base are quite excited to see what he can do, and that might sort of give Webby a bit of food for thought around how he sets his bench up as well. But
Yeah.
overall, mate, I was happy to see that guys got a run, and one other or two other players really impressed. It's good to see Ali back as well to his damaging form as well. He showed against the Storm. And then there's one more player for me that I think it's going to be hard for them not to put him in the starting lineup, and that's Tane Tuopiki. I think
Oh
he's
yeah.
over the last few seasons in key games, he's
That's,
just showed that he's a player that needs to be picked and maybe has to go out on the wing as well. So that's signs for me. Good to get the boys to have a run around.
Yeah, so I got Jacko in the chat here. Hello to Jacko. Kia ora, Jacko. Hope you're doing well in the chat. So yeah, you guys, if you are just joining in, just make sure if you do like the live stream as well, and if you got any questions or comments, feel free to put them into the live chat and interact in the live chat. So yeah, we'll go through these comments as the show goes on. But yeah, so just for me, obviously with the preseason, I think that the younger players that really stood out. Obviously, we got Vamawanga there, in the forwards as well. Laban was outstanding for the first two trials, and it was good in the All Stars game as well. It scored a try on that multi All
Yeah,
Stars,
really good.
Indigenous All Stars. So, what do you make out of some of the younger players that really impressed? We got to see Jet Cleary as well line up in the Warriors jersey. Obviously, he's going to be a couple of years away from being the first grade side. To be fair, so. Yeah, what did you make out of it? And also our new recruits as well. We've got Fisher Harris, who was playing the second trial. Actually, no, he's playing the first trial against the Sharks, and the second trial he didn't play. So then we had Aaron Clark as well. Also Tana Boyd coming over. He hasn't played a game yet. So what do you make out of some of the younger players who really impressed you the most? And in terms of what were your thoughts on the likes of Aaron Clark and Fisher Harris?
Yeah, man. I was saying before, the boys. Aaron Clark is one of those players that we don't like playing against us. We've had
Yeah,
he's been someone that has really challenged the Warriors when he's played against us, especially in the last couple of seasons for the Titans. So he for me, he's kind of a natural replacement for Jazz. He's a guy who can show big heart as well, but he's probably got a little bit more, no disrespect to Jazz, he's one of my favorite all-time Warriors.
yeah,
But he's probably in a position where he's got a little bit more upside for us as well. So that he's going to be a great addition to the team. And yeah, Fish is Fish, right? Like I think what influence he has is being heard about. The young guys are talking about where they just see what he does day in, day out, and that's probably the biggest impact as well. The stuff on the field, obviously, but the stuff off the field with the young lads, and I'm just super excited by Leka, Dimitrik, Jacob Laban, Sam Healy in that mix. These young, dynamic, for the other three big forwards that can hopefully build into the season and become part of our attacking weapons. I really think they could be the difference in some of the games as well. Just especially Leka and Dimitrik, I think they just have that natural going back to Warriors teams of past as well, where we had Ali Lauatides of the world, where we had these big running back rowers, and I'm looking forward to see what sort of damage they can do.
Yeah, and after those two trials, obviously it's hard to really leave out some of those younger players because unfortunately, like with the squad, not everyone's going to be able to make it into that round one team, and the team weekly because Webby's got a really tough choice to make in terms of his selections ahead of Teamless Tuesday, which is coming up this week. So, um, who do you think? Like, obviously, with the players that played particularly well, was there anyone out there that probably wasn't someone that didn't really stand out in particular? Like maybe was a little bit quiet, maybe wasn't too what you would have hoped for, or did you think
Yeah,
they?
I think we've just been talking about this before. we probably would like to see Murata have a big
Yeah.
year, and I think
Mm,
most Warriors fans would say we haven't seen the best of Murata as well. And there's been a combination of injury and then
yeah.
suspension, and especially in the season before as well. So I think that's probably where most fans would say, hey, we'd love to see more out of Murata as well. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, I guess you've got, it's gonna be hard, as you say, to get everyone into that 17 as well. You got guys like Tom Ale, who I think has some good upside and had some decent football last year. I think he probably had a better 23 as well. Bunty, Bunty's Bunty, right? Like he's a bit of a cult hero as well. We've got guys like Jackson Ford too. We know what sort of output we can get from him. So yeah, it's going to be hard. How do you put all those guys, and then you put those young guys who've just been coming up through the grades? They're knocking on the door. Ken Laban, and I call him Ken Laban, Jacob Laban. He's we were just saying actually he could be one of those kind of 18 game rookies of the year kind of thing. I know obviously played last year as well, but he's probably got the opportunity to be like a 18 game kind of NRL consistent back row for us as well. So it's going to be tough. All I do know is that you do need that depth, right? Like you need to carry enough quality players, but it's going to be hard first few weeks because most people are fit, and someone's going to miss out.
Yeah. Hello to Jazz in the chat. Just saw you in the chat there. Big hero to Christian, Mr. Wharakura, and the chat. So hello to Jazz. Hope you're doing well.
Sure,
And
bro.
actually, just a comment here from Tarns is saying Bunty looks like he's turned back the clock. Yeah, actually, he's actually been playing but with that trial game, I thought he played all right in that trial, but I honestly, it is tough to see how he's going to get into that, starting into that 17. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Bunty? Because going into this year, it's like he's sort of going to find it tough to get into the team each week because got so many of those good young players coming through, stepping up like your Labans, your Halasemas, what are your thoughts on Bunty?
Yeah, I mean, I love Bunty. You kind of know what you're going to get out of him as well. But and look,
Mm,
he's obviously fighting for a spot too, and it's good to see him looking sharp. No doubt he's going to get game time. It's just whether he's in the frame for the top 17. With everyone available, and I think the fact that when you've got Dylan Walker and you've got Aaron Clark there, they play that kind of middle forward and needs. Sometimes they can both be on the field as well. You've obviously got Fisher Harrison and Barney, co-captains, always going to be there if fit too. And then you think, it's going to be a spot out of Dimitrik, I think, Bunty or Tom Ali. So it's a good problem to have, having that depth, but I just think at the moment he might not get into the 17. So, but hey, gives them a chance to keep working hard.
it definitely does. And just after what just going into this year, what are your feelings? Because obviously as a fan, last year we had a lot of hype and expectation. Obviously, 2023 was such a good year, and we made the finals. Obviously, first time we made the finals since 2018. Made the top four. Webby got coach of the year. It was all going so well. And then last year it was just it wasn't. It was a very disappointing season, no doubt about it. But going into this year, I think maybe the expectations from a lot of fans maybe not as high as they were going into this year. What do you reckon? What do you expect? Like, what are your feelings towards going into this season? Obviously, we've lost Sean Johnston due to retirement, and then Tohu Harris just announcing it during the off season, and then of course, big Adam Fanua Blake is a massive blow going to the Sharks as well. We can't underestimate how big of a loss that is. And then we've got Fisher Harris, which is a big inclusion, and then Aaron Clark as well. So, what do you think in regards to this side? Maybe what is the potential, of this team this year?
Yeah, it's interesting one. I guess we're not as full of. I mean, us Warriors fans always have hope and expectation, right? Like every year,
Yeah, we always do.
and
Yeah.
it's just what we do, right? But I think you're right. Last year we probably had hope, expectation, but our expectation was like we had pretty much the same team. Surely we can get there, and it just goes to show that injuries strike, and no disrespect to some of the guys that left, but when players
Mm.
get later on as well. We have had one of the oldest squads going around too, and we
Yep.
really found that out middle of the season, right, where we were struggling to have our key people out there fit and healthy as well. So so kind of a reset really. We've got
Mm.
some great new recruits in. The young guys, I think, are going to be the key, right? The youth that have been in and around the club for a couple of years now. And I'm also thinking like Rocco when he's fit, Ali when he's back. I think those guys will be the starting centres when they're fit and healthy as well. But yeah, I'm kind of nervously, cautiously optimistic. There's a few unknowns really, I guess. Is I really love how confident Luke Metcalf has come out to own that 7 jersey. The one issue or two issues is like, right, you got to be the guy. And the second issue is that unfortunately he just hasn't been healthy most seasons. He's had some pretty nasty injuries and some challenging setbacks too. So, but that's again why you bring in someone like a Tanner Boyd, because Tanner Boyd is just a solid first grade footballer, good half, doesn't let you down. And again, he's another player that we used to play against that, I didn't like playing against as well. I didn't, he always seemed to have a good game against us as well. So we'll probably see how the first 5 games go, see where the team's at, and hopefully, hopefully we have more wins and losses, and then we can build from that.
Yeah, I just wanna actually touch on those first couple games to start the season. I'll go through them. I won't go through all the games, but the first round, obviously we got the Raiders in Vegas this week. Massive trip. Obviously we got to adjust to the conditions there, the time zone, plus the flight. Obviously, there's a lot of obviously being a New Zealand team, we always have to adjust to time zones and different venues, and so we're going to Vegas. It's a new experience for the boys. What are your thoughts on this big trip coming up in Vegas? It could be a good thing, or it could be a bit of a negative. Obviously as fans, we'd hope it's going to go down well. It's going to be great for the club, no doubt about it, because it's about growing their fan base, our fan base over in the States, growing the game over there, helping rugby league grow as a whole. But how do you think it's going to all pan out, for this Vegas game? Because it's an unknown. We haven't been there before, so yeah, I've seen a
I
couple of
mean,
teams go there last year.
yeah. There was some issues last year as well, and look, there's already been some issues. Apparently, the Raiders have been fighting each other in the hallways. But I think for our boys, they actually enjoy being on the road. As hard as it is for them, we're always on the road. We're the most travelled team in the competition. But
Yeah.
I think Webby's instilled that kind of that feeling of unity as a team and working together and being together and enjoying each other's company. So yeah, I don't mind it. I think I think they know they've had plenty of time to know that they've got a big trip up here as well. So many fans are going and gutted that I can't be there. I'd love to be there. But yeah, I think everyone's going to get a lot of joy out of it. I think the key thing is to make sure that we don't just go hard out there, come back and drop off. The excitement's down. You got to balance the excitement with the fact that it's our it's round 1 and we got to get off the mark as well. So, but I think it'll be a good thing, man.
Yeah, I think it'd be good too, because I see the club is definitely taking it real seriously as well. From what I've read, from what I've heard, and obviously we're going there for the 2 points, and it's a great trip. Enjoy it, but obviously we want to go there and win the game. It's the most important thing. So Just actually, hello to Jose in the chat. What's up for next? Hope you're doing well, Jose, and Interwebby as well. Hope you're doing well, Interwebby. Good to see you in the chat. So yeah, like the first game, obviously Raiders, Vegas, and then we got Manly at home. That game is on the Friday night, 14th of March, in round two, and then we've got the Roosters at home. So we've got two back-to-back games at Go Media at Mount Smart, Roosters and Manly, and then we got our first away trip to Sydney of the year, and that's against the Tigers down there at Campbelltown Stadium, and then we got the bye in round five, followed by Melbourne in Melbourne, which is always the trip you dread, but luckily it's not on Anzac Day this year. So yeah, what are your like thoughts on those what first four games and then the bye? So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts there? Like,
Oh, yeah. I quite like the fact that we get Manly in early as well. They're a bogey team, I think, for us as well. And perhaps they're kind of more slow starters as well. And I'm really intrigued by how the Roosters go as well. So the Roosters lost heaps of players last year, this season. And yeah, again, like a traditionally strong club, but nice to get them early. So yeah, and then I think the bye comes at the right time, given we've got the extra travel. We start this week, right? So I think the bye is at the right time for us. And then look, Melbourne, we just need to get the monkey off the back. We came that close last year, right? Like that close. And yeah, as soon as we get that off the back, we'll be sweet. But they're a good team. Despite the trial, they only had their reserve grade out there. They're going to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams of the year.
Yeah, I personally have Melbourne. It's down as the premiership favourites this year. That's just my view. I think Melbourne will be very strong. Penrith, no doubt about it. You can't write off Penrith.
No.
Champion side, won 4 in a row. You can't really write them off. But I've got the Storm as like the main sort of contenders, and then Penrith and that. So I think those two will be, no doubt about it, be up there again this year. And just going through the comments, So Jacko is saying here, Vegas a great trip for fans, but putting an extra 20,000 travel kilometres into a team that travels more than anyone else will not help this season. Help as the season grinds on. And then Jose is also saying here, he's asking a question: what kind of football do you think we'll see? Our structure has completely changed. Whatever it is in store makes me very excited. So yeah, well, that's a very good question, Jose. Well,
Good question.
what are your thoughts there, Daniel? What do you think regards to maybe we need to see a bit of a change, obviously, with our attack and our defence going into the season, because it was a complete letdown last year. Defensively, I think for me that's the one I'm more focused on more than the attack. The attack is great if that all clicks, but defensively as well, we struggled last year in terms of like our goal line defence. When we make an error, we can't defend it. So what do you think?
We lost a bit of that steel we had in 23, where we were, we prided ourselves on the sort of Penrith game plan, right? We would kick and keep them down there first couple of tackles, and then obviously goal line defense was strong. But yeah, I'm quite intrigued by this question. We were talking about this before. I kind of get a sense that we might play less sort of structured football than we were, because there were moments last year we were just too predictable. I think teams knew, especially when Shawnee was there, where the ball was going to go, what plays would be run, and I got a feeling that because we've got these bigger young forwards, sort of edge and middle forwards, we might see them playing in the middle a little bit harder. If we have a 1-2 punch with Wade Egan and Sam Healy, we might find a bit more joy down the middle of the field as well, play fast ball around the ruck. And I think actually what we did see is, us taking the short side a bit more as well. I like the fact Tamati counts the numbers and he goes down the short side. And we were just talking about this before, actually, with like someone like RTS. I kind of like the fact now he's in this kind of left wing channel. He kind of reminds me of like a rushing back in the NFL. He's got that ability to beat people, kind of 1-to-1, and we saw that. So yeah, it might be a little less sort of structured block play. I mean, we can still do that.
Yep.
Hoping we might play a little bit up tempo, off the cuff, and then count numbers.
Yeah. Well said there. That's a great answer to that question actually, because we'll have a keen eye on what Webby and the coaching staff can come up with in terms of trying to obviously expose some of the teams that on the field there. And Jose is just saying here regards to, I think it was talking about the travel, and there was a stat going around apparently that Gus Gould's mentioned in regards to travel to Vegas. An interesting stat Gus gave was that last year we had 206. Oh, this is another one here he's talking about. So we had 226, 200, games experience with our losses. We have 2,400. Not too bad, but I get these numbers are right. So what are your thoughts there? What's your thoughts there on what Jose is describing?
I think it just talks to probably we had a older squad. I think we had one of the older, more experienced squads going around last year. And then this year, obviously, we've had some guys move out, some retirements as well. Promoted some young guys into the top 30 too. So, look, hopefully that might help us with the durability as well. There were moments during the season. I mean, when do we go back to? Funny enough, we go back to the period of the year where we had our best wins. We beat Penrith on Magic Round. We beat a sharp Dolphins team, and we pretty much had mostly reserve grade team out there as well. So I think actually, a little bit of upside perhaps. You lose the experience, but we've got experience in key positions, especially with Fish and Barnett. Dylan Walker, but might have a little bit more durability in the middle of the season.
Yeah, just Craig's in the chat. Good to see you, Craig. He's a Canberra Raiders fan. He's going to be jumping on the channel tomorrow. I've got him on the channel tomorrow. He's a massive Canberra Raiders fan. Lives in Auckland, based in Auckland, New Zealand. So he's just saying here, Daniel's got a great footy brain. Good chat. I have a feeling the Warriors are going to surprise a few people this season, but the Raiders will win in Vegas. Well, we'll see about that one, Craig. But looking forward to having Craig on the channel.
How can they win in Vegas? They're already fighting each other in the lobby. Only kidding. Only kidding, well, Craig. And that'll be a good game. Good game.
Yeah, looking forward to having you on, Craig, for the very first time. He's going to be coming on for a chat, giving a bit of a perspective by a Raiders fan. Be very interested to see what his thoughts are on the season ahead. But good to see you in the chat, Craig, and looking forward to having you on tomorrow night. But so just want to have a look at the squad. So just looking at the squad at the moment. I think we've got a couple of spots remaining in that top 30. I think there's like one spot remaining. I think there's 29 of 30. So obviously we lost a player to the Dogs, and that was a real shame. So what are your thoughts? Yeah, Zion. Yeah, that's a bit of a obviously gutted when I heard that news. Was really shocked, to be quite honest. But what are your thoughts on the actual squad as a whole? Like, do you think we need to add anyone else to the squad that we have at the moment? Because
I mean, I think Webby's gone to back some of the local talent, the youth as well. I know that's a great idea. You have to. I think most of us are probably thinking we may be short of an outside back. Another winger, another first grade winger as well. So obviously with Dallin out for a wee while. Look, we've got some cover there, but it's going to take another injury. Roger or someone. You don't want to curse that, but we probably need another first grade winger. And there's obviously been chats running around. There was talk about Stone Street from the Sharks. I don't see how the Sharks would give up Stone Street or Militalo as well. But I wouldn't mind seeing another outside back. But hey, if not, I think I think I've got a feeling. We saw it in the trial. I think Tuopiki can play a role. He for me could be one of the key standout players of the season. I just think he's been building nicely for the last few years, and like Kinney at the Titans, that those fast little guys, just bring a different dynamic as well. So he could be a bit of an answer to some of the outside back issues.
Yeah. Jose is saying Lehigh Hopewari come, and Jacko is also
Nice.
saying, hey, what's happened with Hazelton from the Sharks? The rumor, he came over to New Zealand. So yeah, he actually flew over to New Zealand, met up with the club, Webby and Cameron George
Yes.
and McFadden, the recruitment manager there. So that rumor sort of since then the news has sort of died down. So what would you like to see Thomas Hazelton come to the Warriors? Do you think it'd be a good fit if it actually happened, or do you
I mean, he's a quality player,
like
right? And then
yeah
and that Sharks forward pack is
mm,
probably could be one of the best forward packs going around. Especially with the addition of AFB as well. But I can't see how they would give him up. So the talk is that it's he's come out, tested the value in the market, and then they're just going to offer him something. But I don't know how they keep that whole kind of squad together. But player like Hazelton, absolutely, he's quality. I'd have him in a heartbeat.
yeah, I'd love to have him at the club. I think it'd add plenty to the forwards. I think at the moment, I think maybe we need one more forward, maybe an outside back. Yeah, well, just also outside backs, Dallin obviously going to be out for the next couple of weeks, so that's a bit of a blow. And obviously we got Tane here. There's a lot of talk around Tane. So, what you just looking at that? Obviously we got Kossi as well, and look, be honest, honestly, I feel like Kossi's probably not quite, up to it at the like. I feel like his performances are not quite there to be in the first grade side. So. Tane's there. Obviously, you got Tane, and Tane can play. The thing with Tane is he can play on the wing. He can definitely play on the wing, but obviously there are some question marks on playing him on the wing. Obviously him being his size, he's he's a very little bloke. And he obviously got some of these other teams who we know going to kick the daylights of the ball. Throw a lot of bombs his way. So how do you feel if Tane was to play on the wing? How would you
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
confident he'd do the job, or like I think for me, I feel confident, but obviously he's going to be
I
really
think he's
tested. Yeah,
he'll be tested, mate. But I think it's a scenario we're going to have our best kind of players out there as well, and find a spot for him. So, I just think we got to get him out there, and he probably has a bit more confidence than what Ed's been giving us as well. Like, I mean, there was a period there when 2003 season he started the first 5 games. Ed Cossey, he was just it was hard to kind of drop him for Dallin, and obviously Dallin had a standout year as well. So I'd love to see Cossey get back into it, but just for where we are now, there's so much more upside with having Tane there, and there's just the aerial stuff, right? Like that's going to be a threat, but they have to do something about it. They'll have to figure out a way of protecting him if he's playing with Pompey. There's a way to maybe protect on the high ball, but we've got to go with Tane.
yeah, I think so too. I think he's pretty much from his performances in both the trials with the Sharks and the Storm. I think he's done enough to be in their side. But the hardest thing will be when Dallin gets back, fully fit. Obviously, Dallin's a straight starter. So where do you play him then? Like if he plays well, it's going to be hard to leave him out of 17. Jazz is just saying here weather forecast 26 degrees in the greater Las Vegas on Saturday. So that's good. That's good. Be dry weather footy, so that's great news.
Nice.
Yep. Awesome. And Tans is saying, I was thinking the same thing, Jacko, but if Ali or CNK somehow support him in that area, then it might be all good. So, absolutely, Tans. I think so too. And also, Jack is saying, true, Tans just have to work out how to get help around him under the high kicks. Yeah, definitely do. But is there like in regards to the squad? I think pretty much covered it. I think it's like in terms of our forward pack, I think we've got great depth there. You got also with the outside backs, we've also had a little bit of a chat about that. And what about the hookers now? Like, obviously Wade, going into this year, we would hope that he gets less knocks. It was looking strong in the trials. Very
Yeah,
strong performance. And I think if he does stay fully fit, it's going to be really beneficial to the Warriors going into the season. And then we've
yeah,
got Sam Healy. Now Sam Healy really impressed in the two trials. I didn't know hardly a lot about him when we signed him. I had to look up some of his highlights. And it was a main part of that New South Wales in the New South Wales Cup last year where they won the comp there with the Jets, Newtown Jets. So like obviously we got Freddie Lussick as well, another option there. I feel like Sam Healy is probably gone ahead of Freddie Lussick.
yeah,
Freddie Lussick's a good defensive player. He is
yeah.
experienced, so that's probably the only thing that may get him the edge over Healy. But I think with Healy, he adds a lot of a different dynamic in attacks. So, what are your thoughts on the depth in the hookers spot? You think is there any worries in regards to if there were any injuries or suspensions? Is there any
No,
issues in that
I
area?
think no, I think I mean Samuel Healy's a great addition, and we just saw as the club, fans saw what he can do. It actually got me thinking: how can you put him into the game day 17? Actually,
Mm,
and does Wade Negan have to be a 70-minute, 80-minute hooker?
yep.
And if we decide to play fast footy down with fast ruck speed down the middle, then a guy like Samuel Healy can exploit that too. So, I mean, it's good to have. I heard that Healy's made the trip, but I don't think Lussick's made the trip as well. So I'm not too sure, but
Mhm.
looks like he's got the nod for the backup hooker role.
Yep.
But then I guess it all depends on that 17 game day 17 because you have two hookers, we're going to cut short. So yeah, and then to your point, with having HI issues previously, not so many last year, and yeah, having to carry that much workload, having a good young hooker like Sam Healy is a great option.
Yeah, and I think the squad's good so far. I think what we have is at the moment maybe there's a couple of touches that McFadden, the recruitment manager, maybe be able to wing in to fill in that top 30 squad because it's not quite full there yet. So just a question here from Jose. Do you guys think Ali is the next Greg Inglis? I don't want to jinx the bro, but sheesh, he's good. So I want to be really careful when I say him, but I know he's got a massive future. He's a really talented player, and obviously last year didn't quite get enough first grade. I think he had a bit of an injury at start, and then we got to see him come at the back end of the season. We know what sort of impact he provided, even those games we won at the back end of the year, which obviously were games that we were just playing for pride.
Mm.
But yeah, what are your thoughts? Ali, I think Ali's in for a big year. Obviously, he's got to stay fit.
Yeah,
So hopefully, fingers crossed that does happen. Say the same with Luke Metcalf, which you mentioned early on with me. So yeah, well, what do you think, Ali? I think he's locked in that centre spot at the moment.
yep,
Um,
yeah,
it's
absolutely,
about
man.
that.
Yeah,
It's about that other centre spot. I'm still not quite sure yet. Obviously Berry, I think Berry's going to come back in there. I've got him in my starting centre
yeah,
spot when he
yeah,
gets
I
back.
think so.
So
Yeah, it's just hard to know when he's back. I think the club have been a little bit
mm,
coy on his
yeah,
return, and what what he's got. But just to point out Ali, actually, Jared in the podcast had a bold prediction, had Ali being one of the Daily M centers of the year,
nice.
so it could be a big year for him. And yeah, like he man, if he could be GI, he could even be close to GI. That's amazing. I think Jazz mentioned Ali is going to be the future Ali, and that'd be awesome too. Obviously, his uncle Ali. But yeah, I think he's just going to be a damaging centre of old, right? And I mean, we've got Pompey, and look, I guess he extended to not a lot of fanfare. But I think for most
Yeah.
Warriors supporters can just respect the fact that he is just a solid first grader for us, and he's very durable and he can do a job. So. But I also depending on availability of fitness, chance can be in the mix. And again, coming back to the point of having your best players out there, if Tuopiki, is gravitating to that fullback spot, chance can play everywhere as well. And we've seen how versatile he is, and he'd be great in the centre combination with Ali as well.
Yeah, Jacko's just saying here, Healy must be on the bench. Yeah, Egan's too injury prone. Yep, and Healy's also not small, so he could cover back row for 10 minutes. Yeah, he's definitely
Yeah,
not small, but he's definitely not small bloke for sure. And he can definitely cover a position there, maybe in the forwards. You never know there. But Jazz is also saying, I hope Ali and a couple of others opt for some extra personal, professional coaching. Not a bad suggestion, Jazz. It's definitely not a bad suggestion. And GT is also saying Ali CNEC centre combination. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah. That's why I saw that pop up before, and I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, if there's a way of if we're short in the centres, and then we've obviously got Tuopiki there. We've got Dallin and Roger on the wings. That's a great option, I think. So, and I actually think that could probably play out at some stage. We were
Yep.
talking about it before, maybe towards the end of the season, where Tuopiki maybe picks up that number 1 jersey, and just the versatility and professionalism of Chance, he can do it all.
Yeah, and Jazz is just saying here, all the best ones do. Being an extra day, they can cover cost themselves, but obviously usually pays dividends. Jose's also saying here, I had Ali on the wing in my 17 Tans, CNEC centre, and Tamari Martin fullback. That's what his thoughts there on that. But yeah, that pretty much covers this squad, I think. And just on the side of this coming game, and maybe your predictions for the season ahead. So yeah. What do you say in regards to maybe just your team lineup? How do you think we're going to line up for this Raiders clash against on in Vegas? And
Yeah, cool, man.
yeah, how do you think we're going to line up? What does your team look?
Yeah, so I mean, depending on obviously who's made the trip, fit, all that kind of stuff, don't quite know, but yeah, we'll have Chance at the back, RTS on the left. I think Tuopiki will get on the right. I think that has to be there.
Yep.
Ali on the left, centre, Pompey on the right. I think they'll go with Metcalf and Tamaiti, look, the most used combination as well. And yeah, I quite like Tamaiti. Having that role of maybe exploiting the short side. And awesome work so far, Luke. He's taken the reins and kicked so many 40-20s. Can't wait to see him kick some more. And in the forward pack, I think for me, we've got obviously the co-captains up front, pick themselves, Wadey to start. I think in the back row, we're probably going to see Kurt Capewell, and I really think Jacob Laban's done enough to get a starting spot for me. Did awesome in the Māori Indigenous game too. And then Aaron Clark at lock. So on the bench, I do want us to find a spot for Sam Healy as well, with Dylan Walker. And that leaves Marata and Dimitrik as the two middle edge cover players as well. So yeah, hopefully, well, we'll see what happens, but that's how I think I'd see them set up for the first game.
Yeah, that's not a bad selection there that you've made, and just going through some of the comments. Tan says it gives room for Tane at fullback. He's replying to Jacko in regards to CNAC at centre. He's not a fan of it, but Uze is also saying here, yeah, I agree. Laban to start. Yeah, Laban's got to start for me. He's got to be in that 17. I'll be surprised if if he's not there for that in that selection frame for that first game. But yeah, how about now for you the prediction side of things? So looking ahead to the season. Where do you think we're going to finish this year? And maybe who do you think is going to finish as our top try scorer, Warriors Player of the Year, and let's say a young player to watch? Like, who do you reckon, like, in terms of a young player that's going to come out and have one of those breakout seasons?
Yeah, I like that. And I saw on the chat here before as well. I've just got a
Yep.
feeling RTS is going to have a strong season on the wing. You know, he's back, second full season back in the game, and I just like we're talking about it like about NFL players, and he reminds me of like a Saquon Barkley. Like he just has that ability to beat people in a short space of area, like a route. And I think the Warriors can, give him plenty of options that way. We'll see the best out of him. So I think he could be a top try scorer. I think to the players to watch or standout young players, it won't be. I kind of obviously got Dimitrik and Leka, right? I think everyone's super hyped about Leka, and
Yep.
for the right reasons. Amazing, what talent! You know, both of them are talented, but we even saw that from Leka's first grade debut against the Bulldogs, first touch. You know, he just barreled and broke the line, and then he almost scored probably would have been the best individual try of the season last year, but he was held up over the line. So really looking forward to seeing how he goes. Dimitrik, man, he was like, I remember his first grade debut, might have been 23. He was injured, comes back, and then just went bang. He just doubled in size, and he's just a beast as well. So both those guys. But yeah, for me, I think Ken, I keep calling him Ken, Jacob Laban. I think he could be like an 18 game regular season starter for us. And yeah, just perform like a good 8 out of 10 and just really be really consistent. He probably is the guy for me that could be, could be that just consistent week in, week out guy, giving us great upside. And yeah, and then I guess Ali for me as well is another guy that if he can stay fit and healthy, he could cause some damage.
Yeah, I think with the younger players, obviously, I'd probably say the likes of your Leah Towers, Labans, Halia Seamers as well. I think those probably players to watch. But like of course, with a player to watch, for me, it's probably Halia Seamers probably the one to look out for, and Moanga I think is a bit of a more of a focus because Laban we've already seen a lot of Laban already, so he's already well known. He's sort of well known-ish now. But yeah, Jacko's also saying with the halves, halves will be interesting. Everyone seems to have Tamari Martin locked in at 6, but after the first trial, then the last trial, CHT may get the nod. Yeah, what are your thoughts here? Because CHT, Chanel, in a bit of a tough position on how he's going to get into the 17. Obviously, got Tamari there. The halves, we need a strong halves pairing going to this year. We need a consistent halves pairing each week. So, what are your thoughts here on that comment with the Tamari Martin going into this year? Because he's had some good games, but he's also had some games where he's not quite stepped it up.
Yeah, interesting, man. Like it could go either way, and it could be a flip of the coin. You get generally get a lot of commitment from both. CHT, you definitely know you're going to get the defensive component to the game, right? So we know he's super strong there. And I'm not saying Tamati's not, but I think you probably feel a little bit more confidence with him there. But I don't know, maybe a little bit more experience as well, just to give Luke some support there, because I mean it's Luke's team really to drive around. He's got the SJ role. Webby's backing him as well, so he's going to be the guy. So you might just lean on a little bit more experience. And yeah, there were just some things that Tamati was doing well, and I really like his short side raids as well. And actually, you know what? He actually plays really well at fullback too, Tamati. Especially more so when it's around the sweep plays and passing out the back. He's got a good knack for that. So, but I wouldn't be disappointed either side. I think they're going to have to fight it out a little bit. and it's going to be a flip of the coin to start.
Yeah, Jose is just asking here. Yeah, where do you think we're gonna finish on the ladder? Yeah, where do you think, like, realistically, like, where do you think we'll finish, and maybe, like, from your heart, like, where do you think like we're gonna
Heart, we're
be
winning
able to,
one and win the grand final.
yeah.
I think we are. I think we've got it. It's going to be tight, man. Like, it's going to be
Mm,
tough, and there's some there's some teams that worry me, but I think a seven or eight, a 7 or 6 maybe. It's definitely on the cards. Again, it comes down to injuries and how key players staying fit. But I feel like we've got a deeper squad, perhaps, especially in the forwards too. So I'm hoping our young guys carry us through, especially in the back half of the season as well. But someone said to me, you make 7, I'll give you 7 in the top 8. I'd take it today as well. Just get us a chance to get in there as well. Because I think this team will be better, being better the next year as well, especially with Luke Metcalf. If he can have a great season this year, set him up for another season next year.
Yep. Well said, Dan. I thought that pretty much wraps it up. I think we've pretty much covered up on everything that we needed to cover up on ahead of the season ahead. So just like to thank Daniel for coming on. I really appreciate it. Giving his time up as well, and obviously it's the late hours over there in New Zealand, so you'll let Daniel go now. So thanks to the viewers as well for tuning in. Thanks to the
Just want
viewers
to
for
thank you,
tuning in.
Christian, bro. Love the work you do, man. You do an awesome job. Yeah, like the OG original guy doing this, man, and you're still doing it. So love your passion. Keep doing what you do, man. All the hard work, and awesome guests, great questions. So just can't wait, man. Sunday, cannot wait. Bring it on.
What? Just before we go, what do you reckon? Score prediction? How do you think we'll stack up over there in Vegas?
Warriors 26-12. I reckon we're gonna.
Ooh.
We're going to put it to them as well. They're already fighting each other in the bloody lobby, so that's all good.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, looking forward to it. Bring it on. I can't wait for it. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks again to Daniel for coming on. We'll try and suss out another collab with Daniel and some of the other lads from Warriors Anonymous during the season as well. So I'm sure we'll be able to suss something out there. But yeah, look, it's been great fun. Been great having you on. Thanks to all the viewers, like I say there, everyone in the chat there for tuning in, interacting in the chat. It's always great fun. But yeah, make sure you like the stream. Don't forget to give the stream a thumbs up. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done so already. It only takes a second. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. And also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are a new viewer or returning viewer and haven't done so already. Also helps push out the content to more people, and it's free as well. So do all the following. And we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, actually, and then I'll be joined by some special guests as well. Levon from Wise Up and Ash Thomas from Wise Up as well, coming on the channel for a season preview. And we've also got Brad Inger from Inger's League Wrap Up. He's going to be coming on. We're going to chat about the season ahead as well. We're going to give our overall thoughts and predictions ahead of the season coming up. But thanks for watching. Up the Wars, go the Warriors, and we will see you all. I will see you all tomorrow night for 2 previews, actually. The season preview, obviously, is with the lads here, and also preview Warriors Raiders with Craig as well. So see you guys all there tomorrow night. Cheers. Up the Wars.
Awesome, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.